Oh my God. Texas governor says 15 killed in elementary school shooting. Holy shit. Gunmen opened fire at an elementary school in South Texas on Tuesday, killing 14 students and one teacher. Governor Greg Abbott told reporters. Abbott said the suspect, who the governor identified as an 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, was himself killed, apparently by police officers responding to the scene. Official details on the circumstances of the midday shooting remain sketchy in the immediate aftermath of the violence, which unfolded at Robb Elementary School in the town of Uvalde, Texas, about 80 miles west of San Antonio. He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly, 14 students and killed a teacher. Mr. Ramos, the shooter, he himself is deceased, and it's believed that responding officers killed him, Abbott told the news briefing. What the wow. And my thoughts and prayers to the families, loved ones of the people of that massacre that happened. He disagrees with the abortion ban he signed into law. Really? This is interesting. Although he signed into law in 19 trigger law that would ban all abortions in Arkansas except to save the life of a pregnant woman in medical emergency if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Really? Hutchinson claims he disagrees with the law's lack of exemptions for victims of rape and incest. Republican state elections. Commissioner Dean Knudsen abruptly resigns, rebuking his party's embrace of Trump's false election claims. This is coming from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So for Madison, a Republican member of the Wisconsin Elections Commission, under the fire from members of his own party for refusing to entertain 2020 election distortions, stunned his colleagues Wednesday by announcing his resignation from the oversight board, blasting the GOP's continued focus on former President Donald Trump's false claims of a stolen election. Right, so he doesn't want to take the heat. So Dean Knudsen, a former state lawmaker who helped design the commission in 2015, said he was leaving the commission because it has become clear I cannot be effective in my role representing Republicans on the commission. His announced departure pushed the commissioners to delay the election of their next chair. I'll put my conservative record up against anyone in this state of Wisconsin, and yet now I've been branded a rhino versus the elephant? Knudsen said at a meeting Wednesday, referring to an acronym that represents Republicans in the name only, a nickname applied by 2020 election deniers to Republicans who acknowledge Trump lost to President Joe Biden. So a rhino versus an elephant. Two of my core values are to practice service above self and to display personal integrity, and to me, that integrity demands acknowledging the truth even when the truth is painful. In this case, the painful truth is that President Trump lost the election in 2020, lost the election in Wisconsin in 2020, and loss was not due to election fraud. Elon Musk is in the news again. Will put up $6 million to drop Tesla loans from his Twitter deal. The Tesla CEO will no longer finance his Twitter buyout by borrowing against Tesla shares. Oh, he bit off more than he could chew. Look at that face. After a brutal month of Tesla stock, Elon Musk will no longer fund his Twitter buyout by borrowing against his Tesla. ownership stake. Well, I guess Mr. Musk is not going to be buying Twitter after all. So I guess Trump will have to find another way to recruit. Evers delivers nomination signatures amid re-election bid. Tony Evers gathered with supporters outside the Wisconsin state capitol on Friday to turn in nomination signatures for his re-election bid. The governor submitted roughly 7,200 signatures from voters across the state to put him on the ballot for the election this fall. Vote for Evers. During the event, Evers touted what he considered the highlights of his term in office, including cutting income taxes for the middle class, investing in public schools, and supporting small businesses and farms. We have to win the race because there's too much at stake, unquote, he said. Quote, without a Democratic governor in Wisconsin, the state is taken backward. If we're not successful, we could find a state where abortion rights and access will be severely limited, where the right to vote is not guaranteed, where even more guns are allowed at our kids' schools, unquote. The following Republicans want to unseat Mr. Evers: former Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Clayfish, businessman Tim Michels. He's a joke. If you saw his first commercial,
it was a huge insult. But today, you get a pronoun wrong, and the liberals want your head. I'm Tim Michels. The radical left, they're destroying everything we love about America. And too many establishment Republicans, they're along for the ride. I'm not some career politician. I'm a self-made businessman who doesn't give a rip about the special interests or their money. I'm Tim Michels. I'm running for governor to turn Madison upside down and take back the freedoms that make Wisconsin great.
Tim Michels for governor. He'll turn Madison upside down.
His first ad on TV, he literally wants to go to Madison and turn Madison upside down. He does not care about the LGBTQ community in Wisconsin. No, not when your first ad on TV says, well, liberals are going to get bitchy, basically, I'm paraphrasing, if you forget the pronoun. No, it's called respect. I continue. Representative Tim Ramthun and Marine veteran Kevin Nicholson are hoping to unseat Evers. Oh, hell no. I am voting in August and in November. Senate GOP blocks domestic terrorism bill, gun policy debate by the Associated Press. According to the Washington Associated Press, Democrats' first attempt at responding to back-to-back mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde, Texas, failed in the Senate Thursday as Republicans blocked a domestic terrorism bill that would have open debate on difficult questions surrounding hate crimes and gun safety. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tried to nudge Republicans into taking up domestic terrorism bill that had cleared the House quickly last week after mass shootings at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, and a church in Southern California targeting people of color. He said it would become the basis for negotiation. But the vote failed along party lines, raising fresh doubts about the possibility of robust debate, let alone eventual compromise on gun safety measures. There was a deadlock. The final vote was 47-47, short of the 60 needed to take of the bill. All Republicans voted against it. My thoughts are, well, you got to pay the Republicans a little bit more money in order for them to pass anything. Texas Governor Greg Abbott invokes Chicago violence, dismiss, quote, real gun laws. Uvalde, Texas, courtesy of CBS Chicago, CBS News. Texas Governor Greg Abbott invoked Chicago on flattering Wednesday afternoon as he said Stricter gun control was not the answer in the wake of the Uvalde school massacre. Gee, really? Stricter gun laws is not the answer. What is, Mr. Abbott? There are, quote, real gun laws in Chicago, Abbott said at a news conference. I hate to say this, but there are more people who are shot every weekend in Chicago than there are in the schools in Texas. And we need to realize that people who think that, well, maybe if we just implement tougher gun laws, it's going to solve it. Chicago and LA and New York disprove that thesis, Abbott stated. So on Tuesday, an 18-year-old man opened fire at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, killing 19 children and 2 teachers. The attacker was killed by law enforcement, police said. A total of 31 people were shot in Chicago this past weekend. One of them was killed. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker responded on Twitter, in quotes, "You are lying about Chicago and what action perpetuates gun violence. The majority of guns used in Chicago shootings come from states with lax gun laws." I agree. Gun control would have, not only gun control, but I mean, come on. I mean, nowadays it's like you have to go through the TSA pre-check in order to get into schools. I mean, you have to do it in the courthouse, so why wouldn't you have to do that? It's sad, but, you need harsher punishment and you need more enforcement. Evers signs emergency order banning baby formula price gouging. Good. Thank you, Governor Evers. Governor Evers signed an emergency order Thursday banning baby formula price gouging. The move comes amid a nationwide shortage of formula caused by recalls and supply chain issues. Thank you very much. Violators could be fined up to $10,000. So the emergency order number 164 establishes a 90-day period of abnormal economic disruption. That means sellers cannot place unreasonably high prices on infant formula. Thank you very much, Mr. Evers. Thank you for caring about Wisconsin's population. 20 former Republicans are imploring current GOP lawmakers, including Kevin McCarthy, to comply with January 6th committee subpoena. Why don't you do a hell of a lot more than that? It's like, wow. It's going to fall on deaf ears, but it's a striking display from one time. Just when you thought things were getting back to normal. WASA's annual 4th of July celebration will not be held in 2022. The 3rd consecutive year the event has been canceled. The Wasa area 4th of July celebration at Maryland Park was canceled in 2020, in 2021, and now in 2022. So are you going to cancel the fair also in August? Why is Morgan Freeman banned from Russia? Morgan Freeman, Rob Reiner include among nearly 1,000 Americans banned from Russia. Actors and filmmakers Morgan Freeman and Rob Reiner were included on a list of 963 Americans banned from entering Russia, released by the country's foreign ministry on Saturday. The list also includes President Biden, Vice President Harris, and other members of the Biden administration, as well as the members of the House, and as an assortment of business executives, think tank leaders, former lawmakers, and officials. Why? Freeman called on then President Trump to use even every resources available to conduct a thorough investigation to determine exactly how this happened. Okay. So Rob Reiner's and Freeman's entries of the list appear to make reference to their work together in support of the Committee to Investigate Russia, a nonprofit focused on fighting Russian interference in the U.S. elections. Guys, I just saw this. Paul Pelosi arrested for DUI in California. Really, dude? Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, her husband, Paul Pelosi, was arrested Saturday for driving while under the influence of alcohol in Northern California, according to public booking report. The financier was taken into custody just before midnight and held on a $5,000 bail, according to public information posted on the Napa County government's website. His arrest was first reported by TMZ. Spare me the bullshit. Senator Chris Murphy rips GOP colleagues after Texas shooting. Wow. Why are you here if not to solve a problem existential as this? Said Murphy, who was elected shortly before the mass killing of 20 children in his home state, Connecticut. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat, Connecticut, took to the Senate floor after Tuesday's deadly school shooting in Texas and pleaded with his Republican colleagues to take action against gun violence, saying what happened wasn't inevitable. I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues. Find a path forward here. Work with us to find a way to pass laws that make this less likely, said Murphy, who was elected to Senate just weeks before the 2012 mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, which left 20 children dead. Thank you, Christopher Murphy. Thank you for telling the GOP what's up. Come on now.